You're a Leewood. You know what that means?
We work hard and we give back.
You know, someday this apple tree will be bigger than I am. We're leaving the future behind today. You'll see.
Giving to Rotary's endowment ensures life-changing programs will benefit generations to come. Your legacy is Rotary's promise.
Good afternoon and welcome to the May Career Strategy Seminar. My name is George Robertson Burnett, currently the Rotary Coordinator for Zone 34. Rotary International Director Stephanie, our fearless leader, is out leading, so I'm pleased to be introducing this session on Roadblocks on your road to success. Rotary Works is a Zones 33-34 program by Rotarians, for Rotarians and Rotaractors that offers professional and skill development seminars, coaching, connecting, resources, a place to post and find job opportunities, and small scholarships. If you want to learn more, just type rotary.works into your browser. And so to today's program. If you go Google roadblocks to success, you'll find things like 3 main roadblocks, or doubling up, we have roadblocks to success. 6. There are also how to remove roadblocks or rise above roadblocks. It appears there are plenty of articles, books, suggestions, tips, and techniques to help you with your roadblock challenges. The good news, you're not alone. Obviously, many people get stuck on their road to success, no matter which side of the road you drive on. The bad news, there are a myriad of recommendations for you to sort through, and these recommendations can range from, do you procrastinate? Or just schedule in some laziness time? Or how about uncomfortable with change? Well, take actionable steps to increase your comfort zone to levels needed to attain the desired success. Wow, how's about that for a snappy little title? And then there's my personal favorite, which is just get up earlier. In all fairness, there are also some good suggestions, and our presenter today is going to offer some great suggestions on how to address the roadblocks that plague us all from time to time. Steve Aegis is the Vice President and Managing Partner of the Naples-based company Creative Tile and Hardwood Floors, one of the largest flooring contractors in Southwest Florida. For the past 36 years, he has managed 2 construction contracting companies. The first in Long Island focused on wood flooring, and the second here in Florida, with a broader focus on tile, marble, and wood flooring. Managing over 80 employees, Steve has seen all sides of the retail business. Steve became a Rotarian in New York in 1983, and upon moving to Florida in 1996, he became a member of the Bonita Naples Rotary Club. Steve currently serves District 6960 as chairman of the Gift of Life of Florida, and he is also chairman of the Wheelchair Committee. He is an RLI instructor, and in 2011 was the District 6960 Rotarian of the Year. And Steve serves Rotary Works as the chair of the Coach and Mentor Committee. If you have any questions you'd like to pose to our presenter, please use the chat box at the bottom of the screen or at the top if you're on an iPad, and we will address these questions during the question and answer session immediately after Steve's presentation. Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests, please join me in welcoming Steve Aegis.
Thank you, George. I really appreciate that introduction. Good afternoon, Rotarians, and thank you for joining us in this 6th installment of our Rotary Works Career Development webinar series. As George mentioned, the title of today's segment is Roadblocks to Avoid on Your Road to Success. Just a reminder that all of the previous installments of this incredibly valuable series are available for viewing on the Rotary Works website, rotary.works. Before we begin today's session, I would like to remind you that our sessions are targeted for a wide-ranging audience. You will find some or all of this information helpful if you are currently out of work or in a career transition, are currently in a career but feeling vulnerable, are a Rotaractor preparing to move from college or other training to begin your professional career, are seeking to advance in your current career path, or seeking more fulfillment in your career. Maybe if you are thinking that it is time for you to start your own business. Let's take a moment to identify the objectives of today's sessions. We're going to define what success means for you, identify 6 of the roadblocks you might be experiencing, outline methods, resources, or techniques to help you address those roadblocks, and discuss opportunities through Rotary Works that you can take advantage of. As the subject today is Rotary Roadblocks to Avoid on Your Road to Success, our first objective would be to encourage you to define what success means to you. Depending on where your situation falls within the scenarios we just mentioned, and I am sure that there are some that we haven't mentioned, your goals and definition of success will vary widely. That said, it's a good idea for you to define what outcome will constitute success for you personally. For some, it might be finding new employment. For others, perhaps a promotion in your current job. And for others still, possibly becoming your own boss and starting your own business. Whatever your definition of success is, everything that you do should be done with that goal in mind. Every action you take should be able to produce a positive answer to this question. Is this action or activity going to help me achieve my goal? If the answer to that question is no, it is most likely an activity that will be a waste of your time and energy, and you should pass on it. Once you have defined what success means to you and have established your goals, the second objective of this session becomes clear: identifying the roadblocks. Now, the first and most challenging roadblock we call going it alone. So many of us at times find ourselves in a situation which is so different and foreign from anything we have dealt with before that we tend to focus inward only. We convince ourselves that no one else could possibly understand what we are going through and what we are dealing with. The loss of a job or change of a position, a demotion, or even loss of work hours can feel humiliating and totally unnerve us, even if we did nothing to cause the situation. We may even question our own self-worth. Many individuals are dealing with these types of feelings as a result of these unprecedented times. It is times like this, however, that beg for us to reach out for help. If any of you have experienced this, Rotary Works is providing a coaching mentoring program to address this issue and to ensure that you don't go it alone. Our coach volunteers are Rotarians just like you. They're a reflection of the strength and diversity and the wide range of backgrounds and experience of the members of our organization. Many are just like you, business executives, teachers, entrepreneurs, professionals in their chosen field. They have all volunteered for this program for many personal reasons, but the overlying reason is a desire to help fellow Rotarians at a time in need. If you've listened to the previous Rotary Works webinars and still cannot figure out how to get started, or if you cannot determine what your first step toward achieving your goals should be, you, my friend, will greatly benefit by enlisting a coach through our program. You will be the one to determine what you would like to focus on with your coach. We like to call this an a la carte menu. Maybe you'd like to have someone help with your resume. Perhaps you need help putting together your personal marketing plan, or maybe you need some guidance on how to network or get yourself out there in our current challenging environment. Or you might have a job offer and would like some help in putting together some negotiating ideas. Our coaches are extremely well qualified to assist you with all of these things and any other challenges you may be facing. The entire process is completely confidential, and the only person you'll be working with is the coach assigned to you, unless you choose to engage in another opportunity, which is participate in a mock interview to hone up on your interviewing skills. Those of us who have not had to be in an interview situation before, or perhaps not interviewed for many years, will find this especially valuable. Finally, sometimes when we're dealing with life challenges, it is so important simply to have someone to talk to, someone who understands what you're dealing with, and if they provide you with nothing else, can offer you some comfort and consolation, and perhaps restore whatever damage your circumstances may have caused to your ego, pride, or feelings of self-worth. I can assure you that our coaches will provide you with that and more. We have made the process to apply for coaching assistance very simple. Go to the Rotary Works website and you can click on the line that indicates request a coach. Fill out a short application. Typically, you'll be contacted within 48 hours by a coach who has been selected based on your background and professional experience. This is not a relationship for life, and you, not the coach, are in control of the engagement and the outcome. I strongly recommend that you consider taking advantage of this opportunity. Also, while we're on the subject of coaching, I would like to mention that we are still seeking additional coach volunteers. If you are on this call and are interested in being a part of our coaching team, please go to the website again and click on the line, Volunteer as a Coach. Let's talk about another important potential roadblock on your road to success. We call this roadblock doubts about my knowledge, skills, and abilities. For many of us who have been in one particular business, profession, or trade, we tend to pigeonhole our skill set and abilities, especially if we have been doing what seems like one thing for many years. This mindset limits the scope of our opportunities when seeking a new job or a promotion, and particularly when trying to move into something completely different and new. We eliminate what might be tremendous new opportunities because we believe our training and experience to this point in our careers has prepared us only for the same or a very similar work experience. To that, we say hogwash. Let's take sales, for example. If you have had a successful career in sales of whatever the item, field, or product you've been working with forever, you can sell anything. Sales training and sales success involve a skill set that can be adapted to selling whatever it is you would like to try. You simply need to educate yourself on the new product or services you are now representing and apply those same skills that you have used successfully in the past. The same is true in management. Having had success at managing business or personnel in a particular field is a good indicator that you can adapt those same management skills to a different business or field. It will require some learning on your part, the peculiarities and nuances of your new opportunity, but once you've done it, and if you've done it once, you can certainly do it again. The truth is, many skills are transferable. And if we limit our thinking about our experience and skills, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Fellow Rotarian Alan Jones has written extensively about this very issue and has given us permission to share this excerpt from his book, How to Find a Job Without Losing Your Mind, an apt title. Alan says, present yourself as who you are, not who you were. You are not a has-been or never started. You are an individual with value, talent, and history. Think of where you are going and what you will become. Define who you are by the forward steps you are taking into your future. If you define yourself only as who you were, all you will try to do is recreate your past. Turn who you were into what I can do now. I would like to thank Alan for that information and also thank him for being one of our Rotary Works coach volunteers. Our third identified roadblock is a relatively new phenomenon and has been created by our business and societal shifts to rely almost exclusively on technology for nearly everything. We labor under the misguided thinking that one can get a job on the internet. This roadblock creates an erroneous mindset, which invites many missteps in the pursuit of gainful employment or career advancement. As has been covered to great extent in our earlier webinars, some of the key components to your success include the following: time management, creating a self-marketing plan, creating an action plan, and networking. Having the internet available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is an absolute killer to any type of time management plan you are trying to place on yourself. It's just too easy to jump on any time of the day or night. Before you realize it, you've spent hours without anything productive to show for it. You will most likely find yourself pursuing actions which may seem value added, but which in reality are time wasters. The internet can, of course, be a valuable tool with tasks, but in your time management plan, you should limit the amount of time spent on it each day. As mentioned earlier, you should focus on actions which will further your efforts on your road to success and help you reach your goals. One method to help you with this roadblock is to commit that no more than 10% of your total job search time is spent on the internet looking at job postings, since the average job seeker is less than 10% likely to find their job on the internet. Let me say that again. The average job seeker is less than 10% likely to find their job on the internet. So for example, if your job search is 40 hours per week, then your daily allotment cannot exceed 35 minutes per day for each of the 7 days in a week. If that 35 minutes per day allows you to apply for 1 or 2 jobs daily, then that's it. We cannot stress strongly enough that it is highly unlikely that you will find a new position by using the internet as the centerpiece of your job search plan. The time you will save by not spending too much of it on the internet could be better used to address our fourth roadblock to success: insufficient networking. This is a failure to use networks you already have, including but not limited to the most obvious one, Rotary. You also have networks that you may not have considered as networks, such as other organizations you belong to. Consider trade associations, professional business groups, other charitable or fraternal organizations you're involved in, your church, synagogue, or any place of worship you may belong to. Many of us also may not recognize that our friends and extended family are also networking groups. Those in your network will certainly not think less of you when they learn that you might be currently unemployed or that your position at work has been downgraded and you are seeking to make a change. It's not as though you're asking them to take on the responsibility of personally finding you a job or giving you career advice. Keep in mind, you cannot expect that networking will find you a job per se. but you will be getting the word out that you are available for employment or a change of career to many who may not have been aware previously. You never know who knows who, and where simply getting that information out will lead to. We highly recommend that you register for our June webinar, Networking Ahead of Your Career, where the benefits and how-to of networking will be discussed in great detail. Our fifth roadblock, you may address now that you have this extra time to do so, is one that we call doing it my way versus best known practices. My way really works well as a hit song. Just ask Frank Sinatra. But as a plan for your job search, not so much. Once again, we fall into the trap of thinking our situation is so unique, no one could possibly understand the particulars of what you envision for yourself as it relates to your job search and future employment, and that you alone are the only person who can formulate and implement your search. As Dr. Phil says, how's that working for you? If your way is not working for you, perhaps it is a good idea to abandon Plan A and move on to known success principles. We would suggest that you watch the Tech Tools and Building Your Personal Brand webinars. Once again, they are available on our Rotary Works website. Those two segments cover proven successful principles which are known to produce positive job search and job enhancement results. Keep in mind, working harder is wildly overrated as a success principle. Working harder at something that's not effective is an exercise in futility. Lastly, we'd like to address one of the most daunting roadblocks we all must face, not only in our professional lives and in our career search, but in general, pretty much every aspect of our lives. And that is the fear of change. Humans as a species are hardwired to resist change. There's a part of our brain that interprets change as a threat and releases the hormones of fear, flight, and fight. This is a self-defense mechanism your body has created to actually protect you from change. Huge amounts of research, which has been conducted over many years to determine the things that people fear the most, will consistently place change in the top 5 of those fears. Some of that same research will list fear of change in one's job status, changes in our workplace, and trying to find a new job, each in the top 10 of the changes we fear most. Imagine the struggle for those of us dealing with 2 or more of these changes simultaneously. What are the reasons driving this pattern of behavior that some of us will experience, and how will it affect our new employment or change of career journey? What we hope will be our journey to success. We resist change because we know it is going to cause or bring about something different or something unexpected. We do not know precisely what this change is going to bring about, and because of our built-in reaction to change, we're pretty certain that it will not be a pleasant experience. We feel powerless to do anything about it. Therefore, we fear it, and because we fear it, we resist it, and will do so for as long as we possibly can. We may also experience feelings of pain and anger, particularly if there were circumstances beyond our control which caused this change to begin with, as opposed to something we either did or did not do to deserve to be put in this position, which we hate, by the way, in the first place. As a result of this toxic mix of feelings, a number of things are happening to us which are preventing us from moving forward. We may become paralyzed and unable to take the next step forward. We know this is going to be hard and a lot of work will be involved. We will be doing things we may not have done for years, or maybe things we have never done before. We might procrastinate and then make excuses both for procrastinating and for certain things we do that might be counterproductive to our new goals. We may have a difficult time staying focused and, most importantly, trying to figure out where to get started. We might be feeling as if we are in turmoil, quicksand, and drowning simultaneously. The fear of change is all these things and more. It is real, it is insidious, and it is palpable. If any of these resonate with you, have hope. Despite all of this, we know, as mentioned earlier, There are proven methods to assist us in getting past the fear of change and getting on the road again of our journey to success. This is a significant roadblock which we can and will overcome. Rotary Works is here to help do just that. Please think about taking advantage of the coaching assistance being offered, of which I spoke earlier. Having someone to help you through this process is invaluable. The mock interview program will most certainly be a major benefit for anyone in the career search category. The webinar series is a tremendous resource of great information to help you on this journey. The resource library on the website is absolutely loaded with tools to help you along the way. And the Impact Fund grant is there to provide financial assistance for those who need it. This program has been organized and is administered by Rotarians and Rotaractors for their fellow Rotarians and Rotaractors who are experiencing career challenges. Please allow us to help. Here's what some noteworthy individuals have had to say about change. Life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. Jim Rome said that. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. John D. Rockefeller. To improve is to change. So to be perfect is to have changed often. Winston Churchill. And change is the law of life. Those who look only to the past or present are sure to miss the future. John F. Kennedy. I would like to conclude this presentation with a little upbeat and possibly humorous anecdote. And I do like to poke some fun at myself sometimes. So this short story is in no way meant to diminish what anyone may be dealing with in these challenging times, nor make light of anyone's situation. It's just that as I was working on this program, I was reminded of a personal experience, which I think is a clear illustration of how much we humans really dislike change. Perhaps you have had a similar experience at some point in your life. About 10 years ago, I discovered that a certain toothbrush manufacturer, who shall remain nameless, who made the model of the toothbrush I had been using for 20 plus years, was suddenly going to discontinue production of that particular style of toothbrush. Each year, for more than 20 years, I'd purchase 3 or 4 of those toothbrush, use them up over the course of the year, and then repeat the process. I absolutely loved that toothbrush. It worked perfectly. What the heck was going on here? How could this have happened? I thought to myself, am I going to have to do the unthinkable and change toothbrushes? This was an outright catastrophe for me. Then, to make matters worse, at the exact same time, the manufacturer of the underarm deodorant that I had been using for those same 20 plus years, and who also shall remain nameless, announced that they were going to discontinue the fragrance of their deodorant that I had been using for all that time. This was simply unimaginable to me. It was as if my world was unraveling. In the course of just a couple of weeks, my entire personal hygiene regimen had been hijacked. It had been working just fine for me for all those years. This was just too much to deal with. What was I going to do? Well, I immediately vowed to never purchase another product from either of those 2 manufacturers again. Then I quickly realized that since they are the largest producers of their respective products in the world, I was only spiting myself by boycotting them. I reluctantly began to try a couple of different toothbrushes and experimented with a few different fragrances of underarm deodorant. I must admit that after some trial and error, I have found a perfectly acceptable toothbrush model, as well as a pleasantly fragranced underarm deodorant, both of which I have been using quite successfully for more than 10 years now. I'm actually very happy with the changes I was forced to make, but I'll tell you what, if these 2 companies decide to drop my current selections and make me go through that again, they'll be hearing from me, and I can promise you it will not be a very cordial conversation. So with that, on that note, thank you for spending your time with us this afternoon. I hope you will find the information we shared to be helpful. And I want you to know, I wish you the absolute best with this journey you are on. And I sincerely hope you have a positive outcome on your road to success. Now let's take some of your questions, and here to help us do that is Rotary Works' own Claudia Myrtle. Claudia?
Thank you, Steve. Excellent presentation. We have several questions for you. One, I'm looking for sales, business development, and market leadership positions. I have a technical background and I've worked in the electronics semiconductor industry, remote monitoring. He goes on, plus software, point of sale, and what his question is please reach out to me if I may help you as well. And so could you go a little bit more into the coaching and mentoring that you talked about?
Yeah, sure. So we have developed a roster of coaches, volunteer coaches, all Rotarians. One of the things we ask them is what their background has been and where they're located, of course, and contact information. And then when an individual applies for coaching assistance, we take a look at that roster and try to determine who would best be able to help that individual achieve what their goals are. And then we make a match, and the coach typically reaches out to the person seeking coaching, and the relationship starts from there. And then, as I mentioned, the person looking for the coaching assistance is pretty much in charge of how what help they want and how they would like the coach to guide them.
Perfect. The other question is, what's the cost of coaching?
The cost is absolutely zero. Special Rotary discount. No cost.
There's another question. Can you list the things that you're talking about? So could you go over the 6 roadblocks one more time, please?
Sure. Okay, the first one is to thinking that you can go it alone. The second one is doubts about my knowledge, skills, and abilities. The third one is I can get a job on the internet. By the way, this talk will be up on the website in just a couple of days, that you'll be able to view it again if necessary. The next one is insufficient networking. And doing it my way would be number 5. And the final one is the fear of change. That lady is one of my ex-girlfriends, in case anybody's interested where I got that picture from.
Thank you very much, Steve. Could you tell us a little bit more about the personal marketing plan?
I would like to throw that question to our HR professional, Rich Salon.
Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Great to be here. So the question was about the marketing summary, if I heard correctly.
Yes.
So as we had discussed in a prior seminar, the marketing summary is your future. It's your compass. It's your roadmap. The marketing summary is the document you want in every hard drive, every computer, within your community, town, city. It's the document you want in everybody's desk. Knowing what you want to pursue is absolutely critical. It's not that people are disinterested in what you've done in the past. They're just a lot more interested in what you want to pursue. And the marketing summary portrays your future. Job titles, people you want to meet, companies you're trying to target. So that's a little about the marketing summary. Remember, the resume is your past, marketing summary is your future. And in fact, on the Rotary Works site, under resources, there's a sample marketing summary. You'll know it when you see it with my name on it. It'll say Rich Salon, SPHR. It's an old marketing summary template of mine. So thanks for asking. Again, we can't emphasize enough. Marketing summary is probably your best, is one of your best tools.
Thank you, Rich. There's another question about ineffective networking, and they are asking if you can be more specific, Steve.
Sure. One of the challenges that we have with networking, particularly many individuals, if they've lost their job or they've had to have a demotion at work, and again, in most cases, not that it's their fault, it's kind of what's going on in the current atmosphere the last year or so. You don't like to talk to people about it. You don't want to mention it. And this all ties together with the you're on your own, going it alone. So many people are parts of networks that they don't recognize as networks, and they don't use that. And I've given a personal discussion on one of the earlier webinars about when I transferred here to Florida from New York 25 years ago, and I was going to Rotary meetings. I was already a Rotarian, and I really didn't mention to anybody at the meetings that I was going to. I was popping around from club to club for months that I was looking for work, that I couldn't find a job. It just never occurred to me to ask them, even though Rotary is one of the best networking organizations in the world. So what we're trying to get at ineffective networking, make sure that you are using your networks, your friends, your extended family, and make sure to get the word out there. And as I said, you're not being overbearing with this person. Say, hey, could you help me go out there and find a job? No, you're just asking them if you know anybody in business or in a profession, and maybe they might be interested in expanding their workforce. I'm out there and I'm available. So again, just identifying a lot of different groups that you may not have considered as networks before.
Thank you so much. And
I hope that answers that question.
I think it might. Thank you, Steve. This is a sort of one that was just like the other one about going it alone. It says, how do I find a partner?
Well, I would suggest going to the Rotary Works website and applying for coaching assistance. What I didn't put into this presentation is in my position as the chairperson of the coaching committee for Rotary Works, I get a lot of feedback from the coaches and from their mentees. And every single one has been positive to this point. And a coach will also be your accountability partner. So I would strongly recommend you give that a try. The people who have volunteered to this point are so well qualified and so well intentioned, as obviously all Rotarians are. So please take advantage of that.
How are the coaches paired with those requesting coaching?
Usually by career experience and background.
Okay. As always, we may have too many questions for the time that we have. So I'd like to turn it back over to George Robertson Burnett.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Steve, for an outstanding presentation. And for our audience, I hope this discussion on roadblocks has given you some insight into how you can mitigate the mindset, behavior, or self-talk that's preventing you from getting ahead. If you'd like to chat further with Steve, here is his contact information. If you're still interested in launching your own business, why not take advantage of one of the Rotary Works career coaches? Rotary Works career coaching is available to any Rotarian or Rotaractor who would like more individualized mentoring. If you think having a one-on-one coach would be helpful to your career transition, or if you wish to volunteer as a coach, please visit rotary.works and look for the links in the right-hand column. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our behind-the-scenes tech support who make the magic happen. Thank you, Past District Governor Terry Weaver from District 7750 and Past District Governor Claudia Mersel from District 6900. It's always a pleasure to work with this team. Our Impact Fund, which launched in late March of this year, is designed to support Rotarians and Rotaractors with a small grant that will help ease concerns during unanticipated career transitions. If you'd like to donate to that effort, and I can confirm that any amount is appreciated, please go to rotary.works and look for the Support the Impact Fund section. If there are any other related topics of interest to you that you'd like to see in future Rotary Works sessions, please put these in the chat box and we'll do our best to incorporate your suggestions. And finally, you're invited to get involved in our initiative. Rotary Works is about vocational service, one of our 5 avenues of service. If interested, please feel free to reach out to us by putting your name and contact details in the chat box, and someone will get back to you. Please mark your calendars for our upcoming events. Go to rotary.works and register now for more valuable sessions in our career development series. On June 9th, we have Rotary Works, Networking Ahead for Your Career, which covers more of the single most effective strategy for job seeking, that is networking. On July the 14th, we offer 5 things not to do as a candidate. And on August the 11th, we inform you about your career search in our gig economy. So that's it for today. Thank you all for being with us. I trust you have found the session informative and helpful. We very much look forward to seeing you at our next Rotary Works seminar.